What's up, everybody? I know I've been doing a lot of talking videos lately, but honestly, it's just kind of been... what I've been feeling like doing lately. I don't feel like going out and do stuff, mainly because I've been dealing with a lot of headaches, and a lot of stress in my personal life, trying to figure out things for a Colorado move, and everything that has been in the works for months now. I'm still waiting on hearing some stuff from friends of mine. I did message them recently, and they're trying their best, but I'm weighing my options here, so it's been rough going. On top of that, I had Halloween to deal with and everything, so it's like, I just haven't felt up to doing much. I could have gone out on Halloween. Honestly, I could have done something today if I'd planned better, but I didn't know there was a Pride thing today until like last minute, so lucky me. Anyway, all that aside, I've got my I Don't Believe in Humans shirt, which I really love. I just figured I'd share that because it's a cool shirt. But anyway, that has nothing to do with today's video. It's just, I mentioned the shirt just somebody before. This is pretty much it. It also says, it says that I don't believe in humans, they're not real, or humans aren't real, I don't believe in them. Like, I don't believe in them on the back, but for the one person who knows who I'm talking about, hello, hope you're having a good day. But, I wanted to talk about why it's hard for me to keep a legitimate job. Now, I've made it no secret that I would love for YouTube to be my job. I love making videos. I've started doing kind of whatever I felt like doing with this channel, aside from stuff that would get me in trouble. Because obviously I'm not a troublemaker or anything, I want to create things. So, oh, my nose is really itchy today. I'm sorry. Here's the thing. I have worked regular jobs before. I worked multiple jobs before. My most notable job has been Walmart. If you think it makes any sense. I know anyone who knows me has known that I worked at KFC. It is not something I'm proud of, but it was a decent job for the stress I was under. Which is what leads me to talking about this in a mental health capacity. I am not really suited to high stress jobs, which is ironic because I thought about going into the military. I don't know what was going through my head, but bitch, I ain't going nowhere. Seriously, my brain is so messed up they probably would not let me in if I was qualified. But anyway, KFC in particular was the most stressful job I ever had. More stressful than Walmart, more stressful than working at King Soopers, which is a grocery chain in the West here. And it's a Kroger store. Everybody knows what Kroger is. Colorado has King Soopers, which my favorite store. They make good donuts and good cheesecake. But they are not cheap though. Just point that out if you ever go there. Prices are not cheap like Walmart. But here's the thing. I don't do well under high pressure. And everyone's probably just like, well, why are you on YouTube? This is a high pressure job. It's a different kind of pressure. This one is get shit out and get it done and get it uploaded. It is pressure I'm putting on myself. That is a little different. It's way different when you can't deal with a lot of noise at once. Let me kind of explain what I mean first. I have problems with a lot of audio stuff coming at me at once. If I'm playing a video game and I'm listening to music while the game's going, I'm focused on one or the other. If there is somebody talking to me and they're on their phone and it's making noise and there's noise in the bedroom, I'm going to get a headache and I'm going to get frustrated and I'm going to basically stop what I'm doing to try to refocus myself. It's the same thing like if I'm just playing a video game or watching a video and somebody starts talking to me. I have to pause what I'm doing to hear them. Or I get frustrated because I can't focus on two things at once. It is a major sensory issue for me. I have my sensory issues are mainly audio. Not to say there aren't some touch things, which is, I feel like, more proof that I'm probably some sort of autistic. Ugh, Not that that's a bad thing. You know, I'm just saying, like, that's a huge change for me that I'm scared. Ugh, that's another thing to add to my list of problems that I don't really know if I'm ready to deal with yet, if you'll know what I mean. But anyway, I worked KFC where I was told I had to wear a headset. Now, if you worked at a fast food establishment, you know the headsets cover one ear and they have a microphone. So you can press a button and talk to people. It's either a button here on the earpiece, or you have a little like compact thing here, like looks like an old tape desk attached to your hip. And you press a button to talk to someone to tell them what you need done easier. Now, for a normal person, that's very convenient. You can hear who's at the drive-thru, you can hear what your friends are saying, and my best friend would abuse that a lot and start talking to me through it. He was one of the main reasons I wanted to work there with my best buddy, Jeremy. Like, I love the guy. I've known him since high school. He is my best buddy, and I will always be his friend because he is a crazy SOB in the military right now, and I miss him. I think he's the closest thing I've ever had to a legitimate brother. So, anyway, I had to deal with the deep fryer buzzing, things behind me going off because they needed to be changed out because their timers are going off, a buzzer next to me buzzing that had like french fries and stuff in it, the chicken buzzing, people talking through the headset, the drive-through noise through the headset, and people yelling at me. You see why I had an issue. Now, I had multiple mental breakdowns while working there. And it was not fun. I actually, I'm trying to remember which hand it's on. On one of my hands is a scar from punching a locker. Because I got so frustrated that I couldn't focus and I couldn't get my job done. And this was also due to the fact that I was on caffeine. Caffeine tends to make me grumpy. It kind of spikes my anxiety and makes things worse. So those two things combined made for a very hostile issue with me. I never attacked anyone. I never hurt anybody, but I did hurt myself. And I did get mad a lot. And my manager, as good as he was, did not know how to handle me. I had to explain to him all my issues, and he said, I have issues too, but that doesn't mean you can act like that in the workplace, which I get what he was saying, but he wasn't necessarily understanding that, you know, some people have extra needs that need to be addressed so people understand. And at that point, I didn't quite understand what was wrong with me either. So, I ended up leaving halfway through a shift, quitting that job because somebody called me stupid. I essentially had no idea what order we were on. We were swamped with 20 orders, and someone said, hey, what order are we on? I said, I don't know. I really don't know. What, are you stupid or something? I walked out at that point. I'm like, I'm already irritated enough. I just started to calm down, and he set me right back up again. I'm out. So that was that job. And that is by far the most fun and easy, yet the worst job I've ever had. It was like this weird mix. And I vowed I would never work for a KFC again. Now, I will say that I didn't hate that job. I hated the amount of stress that I was being put under, and I didn't feel needed. I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel wanted, necessarily. I felt like I was being put there as a favor to my friends that were there. And because they really needed the help because they had a bunch of people quit. So, more often than not, I felt more of a liability than an asset. So, you kind of see why I wouldn't fit in there. And then we have Walmart, which I've worked at more times than I'd like to admit. Now, Walmart's not a bad job. I'm going to point that out. I worked electronics, which I loved doing, by the way. I missed that. I worked remodel. Another thing I like doing that I was a little disappointed that I didn't get like a higher position from doing that. considering I was one of the main people who stuck through the entire thing and was one of the, they told me, the most helpful and useful people on the team, because I knew what I was doing most of the time. And I think I've also, what else did I do? And I've worked another position at Walmart. I forgot what it was. But I've worked multiple positions, and I excelled at them. My problem was I was generally left alone a lot. Now, not that I caused trouble. I may be like Olin Rogers, where I do stupid things, but I don't cause trouble. I'm generally a good worker. I stay where I'm supposed to. The issue I had was that my coworkers would very often up and leave halfway through the shift. And nothing was done about it. I got fed up and I left multiple times. But more often than not, it's due to management not understanding my problems, which they're not required to. I just wish they would. And I know that's the thing with the workplace where anyone points it out, like, oh, they're not required to know your problems. Well, they kind of should know a little bit, you know, at least in advance, so they can better manage their people. But they also need to keep track of who they allow to be management. Because there was a person who actively targeted me because she did not like me. And I think she's the reason I haven't been able to get a job there since. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just they already have enough people. Who knows? But, this lady, I will not name her. If you know my work history, if you're one of my close friends, you know who she is. This lady would not give me a scanner when I was stocking shelves. She told me to just figure it out. And then would proceed to hobble around the store and complain that she was the only one who does anything, even though all she did was hobble around and complain at people. And yet, when I didn't know the hardware section, like, she pulled me aside and said, hey, your job's on the line, you're not stocking the hardware section fast enough. I had to explain to her, look, during the remodel, I never stocked that section. I moved it, but I didn't stock it. I know nothing about it because I was an infant. She did not listen to me. She told me that obviously I stocked it because who else would have? And I said, well, the 20 plus people working on it when we were split in half to do different things. Like, seriously, that really frustrated me. And she apparently went on to threaten some of my friends at the store as well when they would not comply to her. And she was a terrible individual. I think that was the last time I worked for Walmart. Technically, like, I tried reapplying again. Probably, I wouldn't say I got thrown out. I probably was just overlooked. I did get another interview at one point for a holiday event, and I was willing to take anything. I was willing to take, like, cart pusher, anything that I could do. And they said they would consider it if I was willing to stick with it. And I said, you know, at this point, yeah, I'll stick with it. Whatever. I need the job. Like, it was around the holidays. I had to do something. Never got a call back. And this leads me to my two most recent jobs, which they weren't bad jobs. Like, these are actually my best ones that I've had. Safeway and Burger King. Safeway was fine. I didn't mind stocking it for Safeway. I actually got into a groove with it, and I was pretty good at my job. They liked me there. The problem I had was it was in Wheatland, Wyoming, and the pay was crap. So, at that point, you know, I had actually gotten hurt because they had kept giving me heavy things to lift. Yeah, give the trans girl the heavy stuff because clearly she can handle it. But I ended up tearing the lining between my ribs and my sternum, and I had a doctor's note showing what that was, and they're like, oh, we'll give you the night off, and we'll go easy on you for the next couple of days. That lasted about a day. Then they started giving me heavy shit again. And their excuse was, oh, you're tough, you can take it. Now, they were trying to give me the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, you can handle it. If it gets to be too much, tell us, which was nice of them. But I was miserable. I had zero freedom in Wyoming. Like, and that's kind of my own fault because I was terrified. Like, Wyoming was a very, a very certain person supporter state. I'm not pointing this out. I don't want to be, like, political right now. I'm trying to avoid politics lately. It's been pretty bad. But, I felt very unsafe. And nothing against the people I lived with or anything, but I just felt like, hey, I don't have anyone I can talk to. I don't know when I can visit. I'm stuck. You know what I mean? So I left that job and I took a job at Burger King. I loved that job. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that actually was my best fast food job I've had. It was minimal noise. It was good people. Not very many customers come through. Perfect job for someone like me. Like, minimal noise and minimal dealings with a bunch of people, except for, like, one time during the day. That's good. And I want to kind of point this out, that this is not a video to say, like, I can't work any job, I'm broken. It's that I have a very particular sort of problem that requires a very particular sort of touch to my mentality. I can't deal with jobs that have a lot of noise. Like, I would never be able to work construction. Let me put it that way. Like, that's a lot. I don't deal well with crowds. Be real with you. Like, that's kind of why I left Walmart at one point, because it was near the holidays, and I was just told by a friend of mine, like, hey, I know you have a problem with, you know, a lot of customers at once. Like, you can usually handle, like, anywhere between 1 to 5, but we're going to have over 50 people trying to get your help. If you want to bail, I'm not going to blame you. And this was also something that a manager told me. They said, if you want to leave, you have I have no problem with you leaving. Like, that is a lot of pressure on you, and I get it. Like, they understood. Thank God one of them got it. And, you know, that's kind of why I'm terrified of trying to work a job around the holidays again, because it gets so freaking crazy. Not that I wouldn't. Like, I do like spoiling people for the holidays, and spoiling myself. I'm gonna be real with you. I do get myself things occasionally, because I want to get them stuff. The problem I find is that more often than not, a normal job is just too much. And it's mainly because I am very non-aggressive to people in terms of, like, customers. Like, I try to be, like, I can't think of the word, non-combative? Is that what it is? Like, I generally don't like arguing with customers. I don't like people yelling in my face, because it's either going to make me break down or it's going to make me angry. There's no either or. It's one, like, it's a toss-up. My problem, I find, more often than not, though, is bad management, coworkers who do not quite understand me, or just too much for me to handle with my sensory stuff. And the problem I find is that the problem with that is there's so many jobs that do this. And that's why I've turned to YouTube. Like, I want this to be my job. I really, really do. I know a lot of people will... I was kind of not talking about that for a while. I'm like, oh, people are going to think I'm only doing this for reviews. No, I want to do this because I love it. And that's why I keep making videos, because I love what I do. Like, and I know everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't have, like, no job in case this fails or something. Here's the thing. I know it can work. I know I can make this work. Because I believe in myself in that regard. Like, I can make good stuff. I know that much. I'm not the most energetic, the most interesting person, but I can make fun things, and I can do cool stuff, and I can talk about things that matter to me. Which is why I just started doing stuff that I want to talk about. Which is, you know, the premise behind this video. Honestly, YouTube, well, it has not become my actual job or anything. It's kind of like a I feel like an intern. You know, you're not getting paid to do this. You're just kind of there to do it. But I love it. I love every single second. I love the people I've met and people I talk to, and it's fun. You know, kind of being able to make your own choices of what you want to do during the day. It's stressful. Don't get me wrong, the stress is real. Like, and I try not to stress. I really do. I try not to think too hard on what I'm doing or what I'm talking about. And there's a little part of my brain that's like, oh, you're doing too many talking videos. But honestly, censoring stuff is a part of me. And I did want to talk about that a little bit. And it does go a little further, which I'll talk about in a second, just kind of an end thing here. My sensory issues have made or broken me many times. I am generally a very understanding individual. I'm generally positive and open-minded. But when I get into a work capacity where I can't really deal with the high stress and the amount of like yelling and noise and everything, that's when I start to crumble and I start to get angry and I start to get frustrated and stressed out, and let's be real, miserable. And you know, this kind of thing where I can make my own rules is my dream job. Other than having like a lot of other things that I'll probably talk about in another video, that kind of stuff. I don't know why I'm dancing, I just am. I'm sorry. I dance randomly. But, yeah. That kind of sums up, like, my work history a little bit. I feel like I'm in an interview, that's my work history, here you go. But, I kind of, I hope I explained well enough, like, why I've had a hard time keeping a job. Like, there's always something that happens. And I don't know if it's just me, or if other people deal with this a lot, but I don't deal well with, you know, minimum wage jobs for that reason. And I feel, in the back of my mind, it's like, this thought of, you're expendable. They don't give a shit. Which, there's a little bit of me that's just like, that's not the kind of job I want. I don't want to do a job where, essentially, they don't care. You know, if you quit that day, then have another person by next week. You know, you're a number in a system. And I know there's some people who are going to be like, oh, YouTube's like that. But every YouTuber has their own niche, like the thing that they do. Anyway, I got a little fun tangent there, and I'm sorry. I had to talk about all the stuff that's kind of going through my head lately, when it comes, because I keep getting told to find a job, and that's been kind of bugging me. But I do have other sensory stuff that kind of, I feel like should be talked about because it is a mental health thing, and I want to focus more on mental health stuff on this channel, which is why I'm doing so many talking things. Anyway, my sensory issues are not only audio, they are sensory, like in general. Like, I can't deal with very bright lights, they hurt my eyes. I can deal with flashing ones, as weird as it is. They do kind of give me a minor headache, but other than that, it's whatever. Strong smells make me physically sick, or, like, that's why I can't be around marijuana. Like, I lived in Colorado where I was smelling that constantly, and I was constantly frustrated and feeling sick and just not okay. And I've had people ask me, like, oh, you're so stressed out, why don't you smoke weed? Because I don't like what it does to me. I've never smoked it, but I have gotten contact highs from friends, and it has made me very, very ill. So I'm not going, and with my issues, I'm not going anywhere near that stuff. If you want to do that, that is on you, but that ain't my thing. And it's the same thing with alcohol. Like, why don't you drink? Because honestly, with how depressed I get, I don't want to know what it's going to do to my DID, to my anxiety, to my depression. I don't know what that's going to do to me. And if I am autistic, no. But, I'm happier that I don't do that stuff. Anyway, but the main one I realized lately is touch. You may notice I play with my hair a lot. I like how my hair feels when it's clean. I'm also moving out of my face a lot, and then I don't like it, so I move how it looks, I move it back, and I do play with my hair a lot. I also gesture with my hands quite a bit, which is just a little thing that I do a lot. But I realized that with certain things, like I'll touch certain fabrics, I'll feel like I can't breathe. Now, apparently that is a type of sensory overload. I actually looked into this. It's a type of sensory overload where things feel too nice or too soft. Now, I've never heard of that before. And when I was with my ex, she would stim on things, and they'd be really soft, and she'd say they feel so nice. I didn't want to bring up this stuff, because it was, like, very... Not because I didn't trust the person I was with, but because I was scared of what they might think. Or that they would, like, oh, you're overreacting or something, or maybe there's something more wrong with you that we need to look into right now, or do you need to go to the hospital? Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. My brain went crazy with anxiety. But, there were, like, these fluffy pillows. They were, like, hair. Like, they looked like fur. And they were really soft. I would be touching them, and I just realized, oh shit, I'm touching this. I can't breathe at all. I'm breathing in, but it doesn't feel like I'm breathing out again. Like, and they got to a point where I kept touching it, and I felt like I wasn't breathing in either. I just stopped. So I began to panic, and then I walked away. I was fine. It's apparently a type of overload, which, and you know, that's another thing. I repeat myself a lot. Just point that out, because I always do that. Why do I repeat myself? I don't know. But, for me, that is scary. Like, because I like soft things. I like things that feel good. That feel nice on my hands. For that to be overloading my brain and stopping my breathing scares the hell out of me. I think the other ones are, like, taste and hearing are just as sensitive as my touch, by the way. My taste buds are so sensitive. Like, if something does not taste good to me, I will never eat that thing again. Like green beans. Like, I've had green beans before. Like, when I was younger, I couldn't stomach them. Like, the minute it hit my tongue, it was instant gag reflex. It's like, don't like the taste, don't like the texture. And, you know, textures are huge with me. I know that's, like, a lot of people aren't autistic or anything, but, or whatever issue I'm dealing with, but, I can't eat fruit because of it, because I hate the texture. I can't eat certain vegetables. I can't eat certain types of food because the texture's wrong, or the flavor is weird. But, I think the final thing I want to talk about is my hearing. I have great hearing. That's one thing I'm very proud of. But I also have an issue, obviously, with sound, like I mentioned earlier. I have an issue with insanely loud noises. And I found this out the hard way. I was hanging out with some friends. We were at a park in Bennett, Colorado, and a firecracker went off underneath a metal gazebo. My ear, this ear, rang so loud, it was like a bomb went off. And everybody else was fine. Like, they're like, oh, they're laughing about it. I'm on the ground screaming and pounding the ground and saying, why did you light it under there? Oh my god, I think I'm bleeding. Like, I was in a lot of pain. And it took forever for it to stop ringing. I'm surprised I can still hear. But, it made me realize I can never go to concerts. I can't do things people my age want to do. And that makes me kind of sad. Because I've tried to listen to music playing in certain places, like, really close to the people playing. And it hurt my ears so bad that I had to walk away. I didn't... It's depressing. I'm actually, like... Sorry, I don't want to cry on camera. Like, but that... Realizing that I'm so different. And that I'm never gonna be like a normal person just shakes me. I see all these people my age, like, oh, I like to go to concerts, and I like to rave, and I like to do this, that, or the other, and, you know, And they're on dating apps, and I'm just like, I can't like you on principle. Not as a person, but I can't date you on principle, is what I mean. Because I can't do what you do. I can't go to places with loud, booming music. I can't deal with the sound of a live band. I have to settle for videos, and that really hurts. And I have never been able to admit that before. How badly that destroys me because of these issues. I know I was talking about work earlier, but it goes so much further than just a job. And I don't want to be a paranoid shut-in for the rest of my life. Obviously, I want to do things, but I want to do things that make me happy. I want to create things. I've planned a makeup palette just because I was bored, and it's honestly made me happy to do so. I've planned music. I've planned cartoons. I've planned trips to various places, including a move to Alaska. I like to make things and do things. And honestly, like, the road trip to Alaska, I planned all my stops along the way, too. Like, I literally thought of everything I was going to do. But I can't be like everybody else. I don't know if I'd ever want to be. I'll be real with you. Yeah, it bugs me that I'm so different, that everyone else is like, oh, you need to be like these people and hang out with these people, and I can't. I'm me. I'm a weird person who likes to sit inside talking to a camera. Let's be real. But beyond that, I like video games. I do like hiking. I like dipping my feet in rivers and, stuff like that. I like nature a lot. I like going to museums and things that other people would find boring that are my age. I'm not someone who fits into the world's happy little game plan. And you know what? As bad as it bugs me, I'm okay with it. Because I'm happiest doing things that I enjoy. With all the negatives that I've spouted, I can think of so many more positives that have come out of doing this, that have come out of those jobs that I mentioned, that have come out of my life. There's a lot of negative. A lot of things happen to me that make me who I am today, and if I could change them, there are some that I would. Obviously, I would never change my experiences that gave me DID, because that's a disservice to everyone up here doing their job. But I would change how I was treated by certain people. I would change the dentist that damaged my teeth. I would ask for a more professional doctor so I wouldn't be afraid of needles. Little things. I would definitely change that. But there are certain things that I wouldn't change. I like my eccentric personality. I like that I'm silly. I like that I come up with random jokes. And I like that I can come up with an idea for a show or for a story or for anything just by watching people. I am somebody who tends to believe in themselves in a way that most people kind of can't. I know that seems like I'm patting myself on the back, but I look at myself in the mirror and I believe anything is possible. And there are people who believe this. I'm not saying that there aren't, but most people I've met believe that their life is set in a certain way. It is set in stone. That their life is terrible and it's always going to be terrible. It gets better. Everything gets better. And everything changes. Everything stays, but everything changes. And honestly, I'm okay with just doing this. That's something that I've been needing to tell myself for a long time, is that I'm okay with just talking to a camera sometimes. Or all the time, honestly. Like, mental health stuff is important nowadays, especially considering that most people want to, shut it down because it's inappropriate to children. But I'm happy. I'm happy with my life right now. And it's only going to keep getting better. Because I know it is. I believe that with my soul. If I even have a soul. I believe with every fiber of my stardust. Let's put it that way. Anyway, I rambled long enough. I'm sorry I had to put you through all that. It's a long-ass video. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you stopping by. Always do. If you like what I do here, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps me out. Believe me, the comments are super helpful to the algorithm. It gets me out there more. So please comment. I appreciate that. And remember that you are beautiful, valid, and important. That is very, very, very important to me and everybody up here. And I will see you next video I make, whatever that is. So until then, goodbye.